Hello, it's Dumplet here. Here's an item on algebra. F of n is equal to n minus 3 if n is greater than or equal to 1000, and f of n is equal to f of n plus 5 if n is less than 1000. Now we're asked to get the value of f of 84. Credits to the Art of Problem Solving community for this item. As usual, pause this video if you'd like to give this item a try, but if you're done, let us dive into the solution. Now, to get f of 84, well, obviously we have to put n into the equation. We have to substitute n as 84 into this equation. But in this case, it's going to fall under this category. So we get that f of 84, it's going to be f of 89. Now, well, to get f of 84, essentially, I have to know what f of 89 is. But, all right, if I want to get what f of 89 is, let's try to put 89 into this equation. It's going to fall under the second category again. So, essentially, I would have to get f of 89 becomes f of 89 plus 5. It becomes f of 94. And I think you guys can see where we're going here because, well, to get f of 84, I now need a f of 94. So I'll have to get what f of 94 is. Now if I do that, it's going to be f of f. So we're getting a lot of f's here. So f of 99. And then there we go. And then we technically have to do this until, well, probably until we reach 1000 before we can simplify stuff. So if you're going to write this down by hand, it's going to take a lot of f's. So let's try to observe something here. Well, obviously the pattern is just very simple. I just add 5 to this number to get to the next one, but I'll have to add an f in the front. So from 89 to 94, that's adding another f. And then from 94 to 99, again, increases by 5, but that adds another f. Now, let's try to do it until probably the first number that exceeds 1000. Now, well, we're just like these numbers, they all leave a remainder of 4 when divided by 5. The last digit is either 4 or 9. So, well, by this pattern, I think we know that the first time it's going to reach 1000, it's going to be at 1004. Because this is the smallest number that ends in, it's the smallest 4-digit number that ends in 4 or 9. So, we can try to deduce that f of 84 is going to be f, some number of f's, we don't know how many yet, of 1004. So let's try to find how many f's are there. Now to find this, we have to build like a formula, an algorithm for us to kind of check. We can kind of assign that, okay, for 84 there's 1 f, for 89 there's 2 f, for 94 there's 3 f's, and so on. We can kind of build the sequence. So, well, 1 f is going to be 84, 2 f's is going to be 89, 3 f's is 94, and well, this pattern is going to continue, so let's just assign n f's to 1004. Now, luckily for us, the sequence of numbers below is technically an arithmetic sequence with difference 5. So we can just talk about, well, from 84, the first term, how many times we add 5. So we add the 5k times. Let's try to solve for k. So for 84, I will add the 5, which is the common difference, k times, to reach 1004. So we have to solve for k here. 5k, it's going to be equal to 1004 minus 84. That's going to give us 920. Solving for k, we're going to get that k is equal to 184. So we add a total of 184 times. So from the first term until the last term, this would not be 184, but 185. So a total of 185 terms since we added 184 times. So we would know that, well, f of 84, which is 1f, that's how we assigned, it's going to be equal to f of 185 f's, and then 1004. But obviously writing a lot of f's is not that efficient. So let's just say we're going to write this notation, where there's 185 f's before the 1004. Let's just make it f sub 185. So essentially, if I have f sub 2 of, let's just say 2 for now, this would be equal to having 2 f's. So f of f, and then this 2. So at least it's going to be a little bit readable and easier to write. So let us refer to this one. Now, we now have what we want, the value that we want, f of 84, in terms of something that's 1004. we can finally incorporate the second given. And you guys can see I've wrote down some stuff because these are the stuff we're going to go through. But let's do it step by step. Now, this thing is essentially, well, 185 Fs and then 1004. So let's talk about how do we evaluate this. So F sub 185 of 1004, we can simplify it to be this one. Now, why can I do that? It's because F of 1004, well, it satisfies the upper category because n is going to be greater than or equal to 1000. So F sub 1004 is actually just 1001. So F of 1004 becomes 1001, and then the number of F's decreased by 1 since this F is now gone. That's why from F sub 185 it becomes F sub 184, and then obviously the 1004 becomes the 1001. So F sub 185 of 1004 is equal to F sub 184 times 1000. And the next step is similar. There are 184 F's before this 1001, but F of 1001, it satisfies the first one, so it's going to be 998, n minus 3. So 1001 minus 3, that's 998. And that's going to remove another 1 because F of 1001 is 998. That's why the subscript here is F sub 1, is 183. So it's going to be equal to F sub 183 of 998. Now 998 is less than 1000, so it falls under the second category. So F of 998, so there's a lot of F's, 183 of them before the 998. And F of 998 by the second one, it's going to be F of n plus 5. So this would be equal to F of 1003, because 998 plus 5 is 1003. Well, from 1F, it increased to 2. That's why overall there is an increase of 1 in the subscript here, because, well, from 183 F's, it became 184 F's. So that's the reason why. So this becomes F of 184, F sub 184 of 1003. And essentially this is just a pattern. Well, 1003, that's greater than 1000, so n minus 3 it is, so it becomes 183, and then the 1003 becomes 1000. Now 1000 is obviously greater than or equal to 1000, so again, bring the number of F's down and then subtract this by 3, so 997. 997 is less than 1000, so the subscript increases by 1, and then you add this number by 5, and then essentially it's just this thing over again. Now, I'm kind of skipping some details here, but the main idea is here. We reached 1004 again, which is pretty interesting. So F sub 185 of 1004 is the same as F sub 183 of 1004. And I believe if I will do the same process again, I'll eventually end up with F sub something of 1004. Now let's take a look at the subscript here. 185 drops down to 183. So apparently, if I just do the same cycle of evaluating each of the functions from the innermost, I will end up with, for the subscript here, 2 less than. So apparently, if I continue the pattern, I'll get that, well, F sub 181, because apparently we just keep subtracting by 2. Again, this just comes from the small pattern finding we have. So apparently, I can just say that, okay, F sub 185 of 1004 is the same as F sub 183 of 1004 is equal to F sub 181 of 1004, so on and so forth, until we can say that F sub 3 of 1004. Now you guys might be thinking I can't do F sub 1, but there's a reason why we can't do F sub 1. The reason why we cannot immediately conclude that this would be the same as F sub 1 of 1004, so F sub 1, so essentially just F of 1004, it's because, well, if this was F sub 1004, then the previous term, let's take a look here. So if this was the term, then the previous term would be, well, 1004 minus 5, that's going to be 999. But the subscript, as you can see here, it's going to be 182 here. So we're going to have F of 0, which doesn't make sense because F sub 0, well, we're applying F 0 times, which is, well, then again, we don't know what that is because, well, we're not evaluating the function as in this point anyway. So that's the reason why we can only do until F sub 3. But that's okay because, well, even though we only have until F sub 3, we can evaluate F sub 3 fairly simple now, because F sub 3, as we recall, it's just F 3 times. So F of 1004. Now this is definitely easier to do than doing this 185 times. f sub 1004, that's going to be equal to that's going to be equal to 1001 by this one. And same thing, f sub 1001, that's going to be equal to f of 998. So f sub 1001 is going to be f of 998. Oh, sorry, that's going to be equal to 998. So essentially, you just want to get f of 998. Now, f of 998, that's going to fall into the second category. So this becomes f of 1003. So f of 1003 is 1000. So essentially, we're just getting f of 1000. So f of 1000 falls into the first category. Now, finally, we have the conclusion that f of 84, which a lot of process went through, we got we got it to be equal to f of 1000, and by simply using this first one, n minus 3, we're gonna get that f of 84 will have a value of 997, and this will be our final answer. Hopefully you guys learned something new from this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.